The Cessation Cipher, introduced in the Noita Epilogue 2 update, has been solved. Community member Randomizer solved it earlier today, April 26th, 2024. And the plain text reads, "Seeking truth, the wise find instead its profound absence." We'll get into the method and what this plaintext might mean in a little while. First, just a quick rundown of how all of this came to be and was discovered. The final chunk of content added in the beta patches before the Epilogue 2 update introduced a brand new questline. I have a full video guide right here going through this entire questline and detailing even the beginning and discovery of this cipher, if you want to watch that before this one. At the end of that video, I mention how this cipher was discovered. Well, the way we go about doing that is by first finding the watchtower in the desert, which gives us a hint in its central room surrounded by lava. This hint tells us that above the fish pond, there will be something. That something is a series of extremely interesting floating temples containing a series of puzzles. Solving this series of puzzles by first befriending this potion mimic in order to help it reawaken all of its friends, which gives us access to the Sea of Mimicium spell, which we then use in the Ominous Temple in order to obtain the Touch of Grass spell, which we finally use at the Barren Temple to obtain the Cessation spell. The caster enters the realm of no realm. If you were to dramatically increase the lifetime of Cessation, or use a single reduced lifetime in order to make it infinite, which I don't recommend for obvious reasons, but for the sake of this video, why not? After all, the sacrifice of oneself in the pursuit of knowledge is the highest tribute to the gods, right? If you wait for about 40 seconds, this message pops up. The gods are looking for you. As luminosity increases, the secret will reveal itself. 320, -33. The community scrambled to figure out what these numbers meant. It was rather quickly discovered by numerous people that the in-game settings max for contrast is 20 and min for gamma is -33. So, connecting the dots from that, Congaline, the main creator of the Apotheosis mod, started editing some of the new graphics in an image manipulation program like Photoshop. And these glyphs were discovered. You can also somewhat see these in-game if you adjust your brightness to 3, contrast to 20, and gamma to -33, depending on your monitor, of course. YouTube completely squashes the bitrate and makes videos darker, so you might not be able to see this at all, but in-game, you should be able to just make it out at the edge of your screen. Between the watchtower and the 4 temples, there were 5 background hints, each containing some of the cipher text. But it seemed like some was missing. And then Breeze Builder discovered that the Treachievement pillar that you obtain when performing the Potion Rain event, i.e. bring a potion mimic to the mountain altar to get some new potion mimics. This too contains some of the cipher text, the missing 6th piece. Now, I'm just going to show images from the Cessation Cipher document that the community put together. I'm going to link this document in the video description and in a pinned comment down below, so if you want to read through it all yourself, there you go. It's not that long. Definitely not like the eyes, although solving this might give us a new perspective through which to look at those. And so today, this morning, while I was sleeping, Randomizer figured out how to extract the key from these messages. Basically, reading from the document, each ciphertext line indexes into and progresses through a 30-bit binary key. Each number tells you the distance to move through the key to the bit to encode. The cipher only ever skips the minimum distance to the required bit. Example, so with that knowledge, Randomizer was able to extract the key of 1100 1111 0100 1111 0010 1001 0101 01. And using this key decodes the ciphertext to this binary string, which translates to "Seeking truth, the wise find instead its profound absence." Which, i.e., touch grass. So, is this a hint for the eyes? Are we overthinking things? Is this a hint for the cauldron? Speaking of the cauldron, the key to solving the cessation cipher is actually also the first 30 days of the contents of the cauldron, with 0 being void and 1 being empty. Yeah. Which means that the cauldron maybe just existed to give the key to solving this in-game. Which also means that until recently, when this content was added in that final beta patch, the cauldron may have been completely useless. It existed to give us this binary information, again, these 1s and 0s, but that information was not used at all until now. Unless it's also being used for something else, to kind of poke fun at us. That is a possibility. The developers are very, very playful and like to troll us. It's true. Imagine that. Noita. Trollish? Never. Not my developers. I mean, you don't need to use an external tool to figure out the cauldron contents. You could just basically visit the cauldron every day for 30 days, from January 1st anyway. And those first 30 days of January will give you the key to solving the cessation cipher. Of course, obtaining those messages in-game on these background hints is pretty difficult. You can see that there's something there, but this is like an ARG type of thing. This is a puzzle meant, I think, to be data mined, because it just makes it so much easier. In-game, this is like, it's almost impossible to see this stuff. So yeah, maybe the cauldron is now solved, in the words of Conga Line. Maybe the cauldron was added and doesn't really do anything. It just fills with void liquid on certain days in order to give a binary readout for solving cessation. And so, will this help us solve the eyes? Is the plaintext, seeking truth, the wise find instead its profound absence? Is that speaking to those trying to solve the eyes? The wise trying to solve the eyes are seeking the truth, but instead they're finding the absence of truth. This is something that I'm going to be chewing on for a while, but I would like each and every one of your input as well. Let me know. Together, maybe we can come up with something very interesting and, again, give us a new perspective on possibly how we might be able to solve the eyes, and or any other secrets that might be just underneath our perception currently. And this also begs the question, what about this arrow underneath the watchtower? Is it telling us to cessate ourselves in the nullifying altar? Remember, the nullifying altar removes perks. Perks cease to exist on us. I don't know, but the arrow is still something that I consider to be unsolved. Yes, it points directly at the nullifying altar and Mecha Colony beneath that, but why? It seems to beg the question, why? Is it just a hint like, hey, dummy, there's something down there? For anyone who doesn't know about the nullifying altar, maybe it just exists for that? I don't know. It seems like maybe there'd be a book someplace in the world telling us about the nullifying altar, instead of an arrow built into the world. So I'm still not convinced that that part of this has been solved. And then that leaves us with the Kiwi boss, the Rock, Dwayne. Sure, killing this boss does reward you with maybe 3 amazing wands from your bones folder, because you're killing 3 player ghosts afterwards, hopefully. Unless they just one-shot you with one of your god wands. I don't know. It's very sus, in my opinion, this boss. Especially since trying to drag him away from his temple results in him trying to teleport back to it. This is the only boss that is bound to his temple like that. Or is he? Do we have to figure out how to bring the rock boss someplace? Maybe, you know, I've put all of the bosses, the previous bosses, into the cauldron or the cauldron room. I have not yet brought Tapio's vassal, and I have not yet brought this guy, Dwayne, to the cauldron. Will Dwayne fit inside the cauldron? Is it possible to even get him there? Or it there? He's just a rock. I don't know. Speaking of bosses, I do have my next boss strategy guide on the way out soon. I was actually working on finishing that up today before this all happened. So that should be out fairly soon, but I'm working on a bunch of things right now. Anyway, again, just tell me stuff down below. What do you think of all this? All right, have a great day. Happy noiting. And congratulations, Noita puzzle solving community. Randomizer, hell yeah. All right, have a good day.